Hey guys, HDvee here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we've got quite a few things to go over. We have some new updates to take a look at for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and as well as that we have some massive new information for the next Nintendo console that has just come out as well. Plenty of things to break down today. So if you're excited for the video, as always, make sure to drop a like down below. Let's try to hit 500 likes, it really helps out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on anything we cover in today's video. Subscribe if you're brand new for daily Pokemon content. Ring the notification bell. With all of that out of the way though, let's get into the video and I really hope that you enjoy. So, starting things off, let's take a look at the new Pokemon Scarlet and Violet updates. We have HDvee here tweeting out saying, HDvee update, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Ranked Battle Season 9 is now underway. It continues to use Regulation D rules and runs until 23:59 UTC on the 31st of August 2023. Now, of course, as well as this, we know that Season 10 is going to be starting in September and that's going to be ending at the end of September, which is why all of this information about the Teal Mask basically having to be out in September is coming from, because for the next set of regulation rules and stuff, it will be for Pokemon and the Teal Mask. We had Joe Merrick tweeting about it and a few other kind of big sources to kind of not necessarily obviously confirm that the DLC is definitely coming out in September, but it's likely because of this whole kind of competitive regulation thing. So hopefully we find out anyway. That it's highly likely we're going to be getting a Pokemon Presents next Tuesday, and so hopefully that would have the release date regardless. But yeah, it still looks like the Teal Mask is going to be coming out in September. I mean, the Indigo Disc could be December or something, we really don't know, but yeah, Teal Mask looks to be September, but either way, hopefully we find out on Tuesday anyway. That's all the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet stuff though. We have a lot of information to go over for the new Nintendo console as well. So this is VGC exclusive. Basically they've been told this information and stuff. Again, it's still a rumor because Nintendo hasn't confirmed it, but it's very, very likely. We've had multiple different sources talk about this. You've probably seen it if you've been on Twitter in the last 24 hours. But we have this VGC article here. So sources, Nintendo targets 2024 with next gen console. Key partners have development kits ahead of a planned launch, sources tell VGC. So development kits for Nintendo's next console are now with key partner studios with launch planned for next year, sources have told VGC. So the actual these actual key partner studios and stuff is basically these ones here. So this was tweeted out by Stealth, obviously talking about this, saying who are Nintendo's key partners. So HAL Labs, Intelligent Systems, Square Enix, Sega, Capcom, Level 5, Grezzo, Namco, Ubisoft. Pokemon Company has it too, I'm sure. It seems like we're hearing about Switch's successor every week now. So, yeah, it's very likely the Pokemon Company has the next-gen console. Now, whether the next Pokemon game is going to be on the next-gen console, we're still a little bit unsure, because this article basically, we'll go over it in a second, but it's basically saying that the next-gen console has been pushed back to late 2024 or the second half of 2024, when originally it was expected to be coming out in the first half of 2024. And so I don't really know what that means for the next Pokemon Presents in February, because it's likely we're going to get a new Pokemon game announced in that, whether that is Black and White remakes or Black and White 3 or Legends, Kyurem, whatever. That is likely to be getting posted in that Pokemon Presents, so we just don't really know if that's going to be on the next-gen console or not. So anyway, according to multiple people with knowledge of Nintendo's next-gen console plans, the company is likely to release a new hardware during the second half of 2024 to ensure that it has ample stock available on day one and to avoid the kind of shortages seen with PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. Although specific details on the console are being kept closely guarded, those VGC spoke to indicated that the next-gen console would be able to be used in portable mode, similar to the Nintendo Switch. So that's obviously quite a big thing, because one of the main selling points of the Nintendo Switch is that you can use it in portable mode, in handheld, and then you can also use it in docked. And it seems that it's going to be the exact same situation with the Switch 2, and I think that's all they really need to do. I think they just need to make a better Switch, better hardware, better software, but they need to keep the main parts of it, which is the kind of portable mode and the dock mode. So it looks like we are going to be keeping that with the next gen console. Again, this hasn't been confirmed, but these are legitimate sources. It's basically a leak at this point. So, two sources VGC spoke to suggested that the console could launch with an LCD screen instead of the more premium OLED in order to bring down costs, especially considering the increased storage needed for higher fidelity games. So this is a little bit of a red flag in my opinion. I don't know why they would go back to LCD when the OLED is just so much better. I understand that it's to bring down costs and stuff, but it's such a massive it'd be really poor, and that'd be so unfortunate if it was to go back to LCD. The current Switch comes with just 32 gigabytes of internal memory, while many current gen PlayStation and Xbox games are over 100 gigabytes. So like its predecessor, the new Nintendo console will also accept physical games via a cartridge slot, the sources said. Other details such as backwards compatibility, which is obviously a massive thing, support for Switch games, physical and digital, remains unclear. Nintendo has said it wants to convert as many of Switch's 100 million plus user base as possible to its next system, although some third-party publishers are said to have expressed concern that legacy support for Switch games could negatively affect sales of the next-gen titles. Nintendo did not immediately respond to VGC's request to comment on the story, and then a Tokyo-based industry consultant, the 2024 console launch would make sense for Nintendo since it's projected to see double-digit declines in Switch hardware and software sales this year after it cleared 7 years in the market. And that's just kind of like other people saying what they'd expect to see, stuff like that. The original Switch released over 3 years after the PS4 and the Xbox One. Again, just more quotes, stuff like that, nothing crazy. Yeah, and the main thing of this article is just kind of like the quotes and stuff after that. But it says, if Nintendo opts for a Q4 release next year, I'd expect the company to have multiple games ready to go for launch. So obviously we're going to be getting a Nintendo Direct in like September, but now with all of this new information, I think it's highly unlikely that they'll announce it in that Nintendo Direct, because obviously they've got the new Mario games coming out, like Mario Wonder and stuff like that. And I think if they announce a new Nintendo console to go alongside all of that, I think it generally might negatively impact like the sales and stuff. So for me now, I feel like we probably won't get it announced until like maybe February next year, because we usually get a Direct in around February too, near the Pokemon Presents. So yeah, it might just be like announced next year if it is coming out later next year. So that's kind of like everything for this article. We have like the main talking points here posted by Pori Leaks, and also Soul Silver talking about like this Pokemon leak as well that obviously goes hand in hand with the next Nintendo console. But basically Pori Leaks here tweeting out saying, seems like key partner studios have their hands on the next gen Nintendo console dev kits, so release aiming for 2024, but that's like late 2024, that's like fall winter time. LCD display, cartridge slot, supports portable mode, and backwards compatibility remains unclear and has not been confirmed yet. Seems to be adding up to the Nintendo Switch 2. Info about this has been getting louder. I guess we will start hearing more info about this soon. I myself believe that having backwards compatibility is extremely crucial. That feature makes or breaks the console. Moving on from 125 million user base and completely resetting is a risky move. Hopefully the LCD screen is just an early dev kit thing. OLED is too good to go back from. So there's quite a few talking points here. So obviously in recent like consoles for Nintendo, well, I'll say recent, but over the years, we have had backwards compatibility on a number of different Nintendo consoles. Like the 3DS, you could obviously play, you know, DS games. On the Nintendo DS, you could play Game Boy Advance games. On the Nintendo Wii, you could play GameCube games, and we've had backwards compatibility on a number of different occasions for the Nintendo consoles. So the fact that it's still like a cartridge and everything like that, I'm hoping that it means that it is still going to be backwards compatibility. But the fact that some people are saying it's going to negatively impact sales and stuff, if that's the case, I don't know. I think not having it would be like really, really bad. And obviously the LSD also very, very bad as well. Two things that, you know, I'm not really too happy to hear about. And then we also have Soul Silver talking about this. This is the third, maybe even fourth delay to this that I've known about. It's fine with me because I think the Switch has a lot of life left. But sadly, this means that most likely there won't be any major graphics or performance upgrades to Scarlet and Violet DLC to the Indigo disc, as a previous credible leak suggested. So obviously the leak that he's talking about is the one that spoke about terraforms initially, that Riddler Q then later confirmed at a later date. But yeah, in that leak, it basically said that, yeah, it was going to have like a major graphics update around the same time as Scarlet and Violet DLC 2. But again, it looks like it's been pushed back, so that's probably not going to be the case. So yeah, it is quite unfortunate. I don't know if they're going to make like an enhanced version of Scarlet and Violet for the next Nintendo console. I feel like if it is coming out later next year, then that's very unlikely now, because if it dropped in like April, like, you know, we were expecting it to, with the next Pokemon game not coming out till, you know, like November time or probably or whatever next year, it could have been likely that we were going to get like an enhanced version, especially for the Indigo disc DLC, which again is what that leak said. But yeah, now it's getting pushed back even more. It is very unlikely. However, that doesn't necessarily mean there won't be any visual / performance upgrade at all, because at one point they were allegedly developing DLC 2 with this new console in mind, according to that leak. So that's kind of all the latest information on the next Nintendo console. Again, I don't know, I feel like from this, there's a few bad things to kind of take away from it, but this is like a super lightly legit source. So yeah, it looks like these key points are all, you know, gonna happen. So what are your thoughts on it? I don't know how much this is going to impact the price of it, especially if they go back to LCD displays and stuff. If they went for OLED, obviously it would be more expensive, but it'd be such a better console. But we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's going to be everything for today's video. If you enjoyed, drop a like. Let's try and hit 500. Leave a comment with your thoughts on everything we covered in today's video. Subscribe if you're brand new. Ring the notification bell for daily Pokemon content. It's everything from me. Have a great rest of your day. And until next time, peace.